Oiza's mother woke from the haunting dream, her heart pounding, her breath raged. Her daughter Oiza had appeared to her, drenched in sorrow and blood. The dream was more than just grief. It was a message, a revelation of dark truth buried beneath the surface. Determined to uncover what had really happened to her daughter, she clutched her prayer beads and swore to seek justice. The dream was too vivid to be dismissed. Oiza had shown her something, a hidden room, lifeless bodies, and Yahaya, her brother-in-law, standing amidst the horror. The following night, Oiza's mother lay in bed, unable to sleep. As she drifted between consciousness and slumber, Oiza appeared to her once again. This time, the image was sharper. Oiza's ghost, pale and cold, pointed toward a door, the forbidden room in Yahaya's mansion. Her voice echoed in a whisper. "It was him, Mama. He took me, and his children too." Oiza's mother jolted awake, drenched in cold sweat. She finally understood. Yahaya had sacrificed his children, and Oiza had become a victim of his wicked ways after she found out the truth. The bodies were still hidden in that room, rotting under a veil of secrecy. She couldn't let this go unpunished, neither could her Oiza die in vain. The next morning, Oiza's mother gathered her courage and went to the police. She explained everything, the dream, Yahaya's secret room, her suspicions about his occult practices. But her words fell on deaf ears. Yahaya was an influential man, respected in the community, and his wealth had brought him many allies. The police dismissed her claims, chalking it up to the grief of a heartbroken mother. Desperate but not defeated, Oiza's mother continued a search for justice. Yahaya, aware of her growing suspicions, had already anticipated this. Using his connections, he convinced the authorities that Oiza's mother was unstable, her grief driving her to madness. It wasn't long before she found herself forcibly admitted to a psychiatric hospital, labeled as a mentally ill woman broken by her daughter's tragic death. Yahaya's life continued as though nothing had happened. He skillfully painted himself as a grieving uncle, all while covering up his true sinister nature. His wives, particularly his first wife, stood by his side, aware of the sacrifices but loyal to the pact they had made. She agreed to Yahaya's pact with the devil to give out her children, leaving one mentally challenged, in order to make him rich and end their years of poverty and suffering. And Yahaya had promised to leave everything to their mentally challenged son, ensuring the first wife's place in his wealth and power. But fear lingered. Oiza's mother was locked away. But Yahaya knew that Oiza's spirit was restless, her ghost haunting the shadows of his mansion. In an effort to maintain control, he adopted Oiza's siblings, Adai and Nene, manipulating their future under the guise of protection, ensuring no one would suspect him of foul play. However, Oiza's spirit would not rest. Determined to expose her uncle and avenge her death, she waited for the perfect moment. Her vengeance began with Yahaya's first wife. One fateful night, Oiza's spirit possessed his first wife, racked with strange visions and dreams of Oiza's blood-streaked face. The wife awoke in a trance. At first, the possession was subtle, a soft whisper in her mind, a nagging feeling of betrayal. But soon the spirit's influence grew. Oiza's motherly figure led Yahaya's first wife to the locked room where the dark rituals had taken place. The haunted presence of the lifeless children and the oppressive weight of their evil deeds consumed her. She could no longer bear the knowledge of the horror she and her husband had both participated in. In a possession-filled rage, Yahaya's first wife turned against him and his second wife, threatening to expose him. "I will expose you." One day, while cleaning Yahaya's study, the first wife stumbled upon the inheritance document. To her shock, she discovered that Yahaya had not intended to leave his wealth to their first son, as he had promised. Instead, the will stated that all his property would go to his youngest son, the child of the second wife. Betrayed, her heart filled with fury, she could no longer remain silent. Oiza's spirit pushed her forward, fueling her desire for revenge. With trembling hands, she gathered evidence of Yahaya's occult practices and dark rituals, documenting the truth she had been complicit in for far too long. Yahaya's first wife, overcome with anger, went straight to the authorities. This time, armed with undeniable proof, the police could no longer turn a blind eye. Yahaya's secret was exposed, his involvement in ritual sacrifices, the death of his own children, and Oiza's murder. The police raided the mansion, uncovering the hidden room just as Oiza had shown in her mother's dream. The bodies, half decayed, lay in their ritualistic positions, surrounded by remnants of Yahaya's dark practices. The revelation sent shockwaves through the community, as the once respected Yahaya was now seen for what he truly was. A man driven by greed, willing to sacrifice everything, even his family, for power. People attributed to his inability to offer financial help to people to his dark practices. Yahaya was arrested, his influence crumbling around him. His first wife, now freed from Oiza's possession, wept for the part she had played in the horrors that had unfolded. Oiza's mother, finally released from the asylum, was vindicated. Though she had lost her daughter, she had fought for justice and in the end exposed the evil that had taken her family. Oiza's spirit at last found peace. With her uncle's evil deeds revealed to the world, she could rest, knowing her death had not been in vain. If you're just watching this for the first time, please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching.